Welcome to the darkness.
We're back. Hello,
back.
everybody. Yeah.
It's almost like it's all over again.
Hey, Pac-Man's in the
Look,
house.
Sophie.
Hey. Yeah. So for all of you that are new, we're streaming on Rumble, and actually last night was our first night streaming, and we had a large audience on there, which kind of blew my mind. So thank you very much for joining us on Rumble. And yeah, tonight we have a cool topic. Jesse, what is it?
We're going to talk about our déjà vus and what are they, and scientifically, I think Colleen's going to get into that, right? Like what people believe and what they don't believe.
It's kind of interesting. I think everybody's had déjà vu, right? At some point. Yeah. Sophie, we're on Rumble now, as well as YouTube and Facebook. So I was looking this up, and this is on the Cleveland Health Clinic website. They're talking about what is déjà vu, and they said 97% of people have experienced déjà vu at least once in their lives, and most of the time it's a quick sensation of wow, like I've been here, I've done this, I've seen this, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's just as fleeting, it will go away. But for some people, it lasts a little bit longer than that. And I have some really interesting stories to share with you that I found on Reddit. But some people say that this one doctor, he's a neurologist, and he says it's pretty much it's a false sense of familiarity. Like it's not like it's our brain playing tricks on us.
Okay. I should be in the hospital by then now. Every day. Yeah. It's a Groundhog Day every day for me.
Day, right. And they say what causes it to happen is that there's a dysfunction in the connections between the parts of your brain that play a role in your memory. In other words, it happens when there's miscommunication between the two parts of your brain. The one responsible for memory is your temporal lobe, and the one responsible for taking in new information, which is your hippocampus. But what they have found with people who have high levels of déjà vu, like it happens all the time, like Jesse, like they say, here's three things. You have a high level of education, you travel a lot, and you remember your dreams. Those are the commonalities between people that have a lot of déjà vu experiences.
Isn't that like a never have I ever? I have two. One not being educated.
Shush. There are some health conditions that can cause déjà vu, but not getting enough sleep if you're chronically fatigued. Hello, that's me. Stress and anxiety. If you have high levels of stress and anxiety, that can cause it, right? Migraines. People who are prone to migraines can get them.
Yeah.
And dementia. People who have frontal temporal dementia. I think it's called frontotemporal dementia, and temporal lobe epilepsy. Those medical conditions can cause high levels of a déjà vu. I think it's really interesting. Some people with déjà vu actually have seizures along with it.
Oh, really?
Never heard of that. You get confusion, headaches, loss of awareness, weakness, seizures, and shaking. So there's this, so the scientific community really believes that it's all boils down to the brain not the lobes not talking, or the frontal lobe, and everything's not talking right. It's not firing at maybe the same synapses are not firing at the same time. I don't know. But then if you go to the flip side and you go and you study what mediums say about deja vu from, right? They're like, yeah. But they believe that it's kind of they do believe that it can be a glitch in the brain's memory system.
Yeah.
And that there's this delayed processing theory, like one side of the brain is taking in information faster than the other side. And we talked about that a little bit last night on our show, that there's techniques to reset that, to get everything to fire at the same time. But they also go into past dreams and people who remember forgotten dreams, who feel like they're living a past dream. So this is where they kind of veer from the scientific community. Mediums believe that and they also believe in this parallel theory universe that we're living in different parallel universes all the time.
Yeah, different planes.
Yeah.
At the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That we're occupying different, right. And that there's these slips and and there's these slips in time that happen, and where you can kind of take a glimpse into something that you're living in multiple universes, which really freaks me out. But I did have an experience with this a couple of times that I don't know. And that you can have deja vu linked to subconscious memories. So I don't know. What do you guys think about all of this?
Maybe 40 years ago. Hold on. 40 years ago, I might have thought that was just bunk. Yeah. But as I've aged gracefully into my later years, I've seen a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. I've never passed myself, but in the reading and all the information that I've looked up, there's got to be something else. And if we're in a different plane at the same time, I can't imagine how thick or thin the veil is, because we've all heard stories about somebody slipping from one side to the other. Right. Somebody sitting down in the wrong place and getting up and being in the wrong place. So I don't know. I believe it.
Messy Jessie, what do you think?
Well, I do believe in deja vus, obviously, just because they've happened to me so frequently. I can give you guys an example. I would say probably about 6 months ago, I'm sitting at work and I'm doing my paperwork, and all of a sudden I get this it's hard to explain, because it's just like you get this instant and it's through your whole body. And it's like I just dreamt this, like this is what's going to happen. And the gals that I work with, they're like, oh yeah, you just whatever, and I'm like, no, something is going to happen. Like something big is going to happen. And within an hour, I hate to say it, but shit kind of hit the fan, basically. And I told him, I was like, I told you guys.
Or is that precog? Do you think that's more precog?
I think, no, I think it could be maybe a combination of both, but it's definitely something that I have dreamt about. And then, you forget about it over time, right? Like you have this really vivid dreams, and which I do. I would say probably majority of mediums, and I could be wrong, they do have vivid dreams, and we're also taught to kind of write them down. And so I write my dreams down, especially ones that mean something to me. And so I clearly remember this dream. I remember it. This was during the time where I wasn't even working at this place. And it was just, I've had that a handful of times, and we talk about different planes and different, I think we talked in a past show about how different planes kind of cross. We talk about like, past lives, or how about people that we have never met in our entire life, and we had a dream about them and we see them later. Like, do you feel like that's a deja vu, or do you feel like that's just, what do you think?
No, I think it's precog.
Precog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deja vu would be, so when I used to play football, I've fallen in and whacked my head pretty good a couple times. And I know we talked about that last week as well. And it's, to me, deja vu is like, I've been here before. This all looks really familiar, but I'm not supposed to be here now.
Yep.
That's the way I've looked at it. So, and that was way before concussion protocol, and I've had a couple concussions, believe it or not. But that's the way I understand deja vu. You've been there. You've not necessarily done that, but you've been there and you've seen it, but you're not supposed to be there now type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the not supposed to be there now, but maybe it was like, I've had so many of these moments where I'm driving down the road and a song has come on, and I know I've driven down the road at that like exact instant, exact mile where that song has come on, and I've relived, like I'm reliving that moment over and over. It is so fascinating to me because I'm like, okay, what are the odds? I don't know. Okay, on Spotify, my like songs are like 1,300 like songs. What are the odds that if I'm listening to my liked playlist, that exact moment at that exact place, and like the same daylight streaming through the windshield, the same feeling, like, you know what I mean?
Do you remember oh, sorry. I was just, you made me think about that movie with Ashton Kutcher, The Butterfly Effect.
The Butterfly Effect,
sometimes those deja vus make me think of that instance. Like, okay, I've done this before. Do I have a chance to fix it?
I guess I never thought of it in terms of a chance to fix it. It just always blows my mind that
take a different way.
It happens so much. Like it happens so much with me. I'm like, oh my God, I'm here. I was here. This just happened to me. What's going on? And that happens to me constantly. Like I'll be doing something. I'll be doing something at home, and I have the music playing, and then boom, there it is, all over again. It's like this.
There it is.
I know.
Okay, so you talk about that. There's a movie with John Cusack where he's in a motel room.
Oh,
1408.
Thank you, 1408. And that is a great movie. And he actually, everything he does is almost deja vu. I think he's got some precog, but he sees actually him. And it's such a great movie. It's one of those movies. But that to me has a little bit of deja vu in there, because he'll, some of the stuff that he wakes up while he's doing is pretty interesting.
Yeah. So when we talk about the parallel universe theory out there, that we could be living multiple lives at the same time, right? And all like parallel dimensions. I know I've told you guys, at least Jesse's heard this before, but I lived in San Angelo, Texas for 2 miserable years of my life. No offense if you're in San Angelo, but it wasn't my cup of tea. And I lived on this road called Fox Hollow Road, and not too many houses on it. And I drove down the road, and I turned into my driveway, and I looked, and I was sitting on a bench that I had by my front door watching me pull into the driveway. I saw me sitting on the bench, and I saw me pull into the driveway at the same time. And when I reached down to put the Jeep in park and I looked back up, it was over. I was gone off the bench. What was that about? That's not deja vu, is it? I mean, it didn't have that feel to me, but I don't know what the heck happened.
Yeah.
See, that would be that would be the dimension. That would be, I know, did you sit on that bench a lot? And I'm completely spitballing. Did you sit on that bench a lot?
Once in a while, but it was usually too hot because it's like 120 in West Texas.
It's like the surface of the sun there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that, I mean, that might be projection though, right?
Oh, I haven't thought about that projection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's your safe place. That's, you could go sit on there, when you could sit on that bench. And I'm just completely spitballing. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. What still bothers me to this day is I was cognizant of both activities happening at the same time. I was cognizant of watching me drive in the driveway and watching me sitting on the bench all at the same motion and time, like for an instance, and then it was over. And I can't figure that out. Like, how did that happen?
I told you, you're haunted.
By me. Yeah. Yeah, it was weird.
It's funny because my mom used to say, you need to be careful. You're so busy. You're going to see yourself coming. That kind of goes to, burning the candle at both ends type thing.
Yeah.
But, you're going to pass yourself going somewhere. And, that I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just a little fat kid. I don't know.
It still freaks me out. Has anything like that ever happened to either of you?
Yeah.
No? Have you, Jesse? It has?
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
So I have never been to this town in Montana, ever. I haven't even heard of it. I went up with a good friend of mine, and I walked. It was weird because she was like, "Oh yeah, it's over this mountain," and it's like, we get there, and I know what Colleen was talking about. She was talking about how you kind of, it's like you see yourself, but then, and you remember the area, right? But you've never been to this place before. Like, and maybe, I don't know. It was just like, I walked next to something and it was like, I did it again, like it was a constant, I've been here before. Like I've done the same steps. I've sat right here and I remember, I've had a lot of them. It's crazy.
I had a lot of it in New Orleans, in the French Quarter. The first time I went there, it was, I know what store is right around the corner. I know where the best jazz bar is. I've never been there before. And I'd go down it's like I kept knowing where everything was located and where to go to the cemetery. It was just this constant, like, wow, everything was so familiar. Maybe not so much deja vu as just everything felt so incredibly familiar and like I'm coming home. That's what it felt like, but in the wrong century. Like I felt like I walked these streets before when they were dirt, that kind of feeling. Yeah, it was really interesting. But so I have this is a really cool Reddit story that I wanted to share with you guys because this one is kind of mind-blowing and it's a really good example of what we're talking about. This person says, when I where'd it go? Here we go. Okay. When I was about 9, I broke a dish and was sent to my room. I went up I felt strange, like going up the staircase feeling strange, like I was in an unfamiliar place. I don't know why. I got chills and very cautiously nudged the door open to look inside. My room was all different. There was different furniture. I felt an icy stab in my chest when I noticed the silhouette of a man against a brightly lit window. I managed to let out a sorry, and I before bolting back down the stairs, screaming for my parents. They went up and just shook their heads. Sure enough, the room was normal, and I forgot about this as I got older. Years later, our longtime neighbors sold their place and a new family just moved in. They had a daughter about my age, 17 at the time, and I noticed her right away because she was gifted and didn't seem shy about her given choice of attire. One day, I was upstairs in my room and I noticed her in the backyard. I couldn't help but stare, especially because of the downward angle gave me an even better peek. So I just stood there like a creepy teenager staring at this girl. Then I heard a tiny sorry behind me and the door shutting. This scared me to death until I remembered what happened when I was 9. I ran downstairs to my parents just as before, and I asked them if they remembered at the time I broke the dish, and they sent me upstairs. I asked if they remembered when I said my room was different. They said I was always keen to make up BS stories to get out of trouble, but they did recall me saying that there was a man in my room looking out the window. So was that him years later? Like he was slipping through time and seeing him staring out the window.
Wow.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Huh.
That's pretty wild.
That's pretty wild. I've heard stories of like, some kid getting ready to do something really stupid, and then all of a sudden they run into this adult, or he runs into an adult, and the adult tells him, don't go wherever. And then 20 years later, he remembers that story, and he looks at himself, and he's the adult that was coming at him. So kind of on that, is that more like a guardian angel? There's just so many things that, precog, deja vu, guardian, it just amazes me how many things that there are that, we have no idea about, and like I said.
Oh, sorry, Max.
No, I'm cool.
Mud Lover, have you ever had anything happen like that? Anything like deja vu-ish?
Nothing that I can remember. I'll be like sometimes doing something and then I'll be like, well, this is familiar, but I couldn't describe what it was. I just kind of like, oh, that was weird, and then move on. But nothing stands out like like your stories or that Reddit story or anything. It's just a chance encounter.
Yeah. I think there's a handful of times where I felt like my deja vus have saved my life, like I could be doing something in the kitchen trying to get ready, and I'm like, this is really familiar. And then I remember something happened again, like with work, and something told me, don't go. I've talked about it many times, like the burnt toast theory, right? You burn your toast or your coffee spilt all over the place and you got to go change your shirt. And then you go down the road and figure out that you just missed an accident by like 5 seconds,
That happens a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So those things I take very, very to heart and to care, because I feel, and we talk about guardian angels and my ancestors, and I believe that that's them protecting us. What have you guys, talk about different seeing yourself, the Reddit story, like they seen themselves earlier, the man. What about doppelgangers? Do you guys believe there is another person, and you come in contact with them, and that could also cause like a deja vu kind of thing? Are you living the same life,
Or are they living, is your doppelganger what's in the parallel universe?
Exactly.
Is that where the veil is that thin to where your doppelganger can come across? But they do say that if you run into your doppelganger, something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
I got out of Texas. That wasn't too bad. But I don't know. Bad for who though? The gal that was sitting on the bench, me sitting on the bench, or me in the car.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess it'd be your.
Wow.
They didn't say that in the movie.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
They
So
didn't say that.
this story
Huh.
is very similar to how I have felt with my deja vus. And this one is, this person says, I had a serious deja vu back when I was in elementary school. I just walked into the cafeteria to go and buy a slice of pizza and sit down with my usual group of acquaintances. Very usual routine. I
I like
go and
pizza.
sit down and suddenly snapped into that feeling, the feeling like you've been here before in this exact way, not just here, but exactly this way. Like everybody's dressed the same, everybody's exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
I realized just before my friends turned to greet me at the table, and I felt like I knew what they were going to say and how they were going to say it. The thing is, this deja vu that I had, like I had a jump on it. Like I realized I was experiencing deja vu before I was experiencing the deja
wow.
vu. Being a little kid, I had to prove I had superpowers, of course. So I just turned to my friend, mimicking the way I remembered him turning to me, and said what I remembered he'd say, and further, how he'd react to me mimicking him.
Oh my.
I know this is, he said something to the effect of, hey, in my name, what's up? Wow, we said the same thing. Stop it. Which I copied word for word, movement by movement at the same time he did. I don't know how we looked to everybody else, but in my mind, we were a perfect mirror. That's where the deja vu stopped, but I felt like some sort of superhero. Unfortunately, nobody cared for my super deja vu. But that's how I remember things, exactly that way. Like this has happened to me exactly this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a little freaky when it happens. Sometimes it's comforting, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. If people think that mediums can, predict the future and, predict everything, and I'm not that way. I just, it's kind of weird how things like that happen, and it kind of shooks you. You're like, did I just do that? Like, you have to think about, deja vus. I respect them a lot. But it reminds me of Bill Murray, right? The Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Like I think I would be crazy if I woke up the same time. Oh wait, I do.
Right?
Keep going.
My day feels like that every day. Yeah, like over and over and over. Yeah.
We're gonna change a sock that makes a difference.
Well, the whole thing of could it be the two parts of your brain not talking, not in harmony? So if you could get them in harmony, would it stop? Or I mean, neuroscientists, they're boiling everything down to neurons, which is their science. But I think there's something a little more mystical about a lot of this stuff, because those kind of exact memories like this person had at school and the things that we've had happen to us, I don't know that you can necessarily boil that down to a synapse in your brain, like misremembering something, because sometimes it's so dead on. Like it's not, oh yeah, I think I've heard this song on this stretch of road before. It's no, I've been here exactly here when this has happened to me.
This mile marker at this time.
Yeah, it's like I remember this. I remember,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. The other thing too, I did do some weird that we were talking about this today. So I watched a documentary. I can't remember where I watched it, but they were talking about how not trying to get all I'm not getting in religious, but there is some evidence they're predicting that has been done in the Old Testament, in the Old Bible. They talk about how Jesus himself had deja vus, and how he had predicted his own.
Like
right? But
His own faith.
remember, he was a healer. I mean, if you really think about it, he was a healer, and he believed in different things, and other people didn't like it. So, but they're finding evidence, decoding the Bible, that there was, signs that he himself also was, I guess, gifted with sight. So it was interesting.
The whole thing about, I don't know, maybe it is just our brains going haywire. I'm not sure. Had a lot of head injuries too. I don't know. So maybe it is. Maybe the more head injuries you've got, the more it happens. I don't know.
I don't know if that's my case. I think I have two brain cells and one's holding the other one hostage. So.
So, okay. So deja vu, let's say that it's, okay, let's take a poll. Kim, have you ever had like a concussion?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Okay, more than one?
No.
Have you had a lot of instances of deja vu? Or just a few?
No, just
a few.
Just a few that, yeah. Well, maybe like a dozen, maybe.
Okay.
Just, yeah.
And Jess, head injury?
I've had two
concussions, and you have a lot of deja vu. And Max, you've had several concussions, 2, 3, 4.
I like ice cream.
But have you had a lot of deja vu?
Yes.
So I'm wondering if there's a correlation there to how many head injuries have you had? I've probably had 7 or 8 concussions and 1 TBI. So I don't know. I mean, it would be interesting, and I wonder if anybody studies that.
Wow.
I wonder if it's like a whole new, what your parents used to say, at least mine, I'm going to knock the sense into you. I don't.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. What did Sophie just say?
Oh.
I don't know your parents, so I don't know.
I got none. You've had no head injuries, and
lucky you. But you've had lots of deja vu.
Okay, so then that blows that theory right out of the water.
Great.
Not necessarily, because if you think about that just pulled. So if we're looking at it like it's points of a star, right? That would just be the one point that maybe Soapy has, had this but didn't have that, had this but didn't have that. And if we got together and we created a list, and I'm again spitballing because they had injuries.
Right.
Ice cream.
But I like ice cream. I'm having ice cream when I get home.
Oh.
Did you know that, Mud Lover?
No, I didn't know that.
Girl, you better have some ice cream waiting for him.
Apparently.
But yeah, so again, kind of going back to the deja vu, I find that very interesting. And you talked about Jesus. Clearly, I would think that he would have some sort of deja vu as a healer, because you would, you have that mind sight. But then you talk about, and not to go get off the rails or anything,
right?
But then why would a healer let themselves, But there's the iconic aspect of that part, that was done for a reason. But I think it's just bizarre, because if you think about deja vu, like we talked about, deja vu and then doppelgangers, and this is just a bucket of worms. It's interesting because they're all different things, but they kind of align in a lot of their stuff too. Yeah. Deja vu, doppelgangers, dimensions, like Kenna was talking about the other day. I just think that that's very interesting, and I think the more that it's explored, the more people that are going to come forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you guys think about? So we're going to go just a little step further. What about time traveler? Do you think that
100%.
that is an actual deja vu that that person is having? Or do you really believe somebody from the future has come back? Or is it just a cross into worlds?
Well, there's actual evidence of people. There's a guy that showed up in a picture, and I can't remember. He was wearing like a ball cap
Mm.
and like Wayfarers, and I think we've all seen that picture. And he's wearing a shirt
Mhm.
that's got some sort of writing on it, and everybody else is dressed like they're in the 40s. There's the one where the lady's walking down the street with something to
Mhm.
her ear.
Yeah.
Um, I think time traveler, is it something that everybody does? I don't think so. I
No.
don't think so. But is that your doppelganger? Like you said, are you projecting yourself back into that time?
Yeah.
Look at
Would
that movie. Oh my gosh, which movie was it where he's the time machine? And he was
really.
able to send himself all the way back. So I think there's just a lot of stuff that we could delve into, and deja
Yeah.
vu is just one of them.
I apologize. The engineer outside my house is blaring his horn, and he does it on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sorry about the long toots that you hear in the background.
Sure,
Long
sure,
tooth. Uh-huh.
sure,
Sure, Jesse.
Mhm.
sure. It's that Taco Bell.
I wasn't going to bring up Taco Bell today, but
Might as
drove by
well
Taco Bell.
keep it going in every episode, right?
Yep.
might as well.
We miss you, Bird.
I know.
We miss
Come
Bird.
on, Bird. Yeah.
What do you think, Colleen? What do you think about the time traveling? Do you think it's like what do you think?
I think if people are doing that, if there are people, and there probably are, they're pretty advanced. Like they've come back multiple times. They've been able to figure things out that
Mhm.
little old me can't figure out yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or maybe they're not human
Mm.
and they're able to do it. Maybe they're a hybrid or I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe they're from one of these alternate universes, and so they have this capability of bouncing back and forth that we haven't figured out yet because we're stuck here in this universe.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay, but so you make that statement. How do you know that we're stuck? Just this aspect of us is stuck in this. There could be another Mad Max just wreaking havoc somewhere.
Oh Lord, help us all.
In a Taco
That's
Bell.
right.
And yeah. I don't know. I really don't know if we have. Man, it's my brain just when I try to think about some of this stuff, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like it does not compute. It does not compute because it's spooky to me.
Yeah.
Very spooky to me. More so than when we're going out and doing our paranormal stuff, when we're doing investigations. The concept of multiple me's, nobody needs that. Nobody
Yes,
needs
we
that.
do. Yes,
I know.
we do.
So I'm just like, no, I don't. That just doesn't seem. That's not. It's not good. That doesn't seem right or good or.
But we're not supposed to know that because it makes you crazy because you know that and you think about it. But we're not supposed to. We are not as just Joe Schmuckatelli, right? Just cruising through our lives. We're not supposed to know that if you look over really fast, you're sitting beside of you. And just because they don't take up that space, it doesn't mean that there's something else there. And I just don't think that we're supposed to know a lot of stuff. I think there's folks out there that are legit and they have their gifts. Our folks on our team that we're fortunate enough to have. But I just don't think that everybody is supposed to know everything. I still think sometimes they're supposed to be worker bees.
Yeah.
You know, a portion of us are.
So, here's the problem. Let's say that all of a sudden you slip in and out and you start talking about it. The first thing they're going to do is start drugging you because you're now crazy. Because anything, if you tell them that you're a medium, if you tell them you have precog, if you tell like the medical doctors, anything
You're
like
going to
that,
get a psyche eval.
you're going to get a psyche valve,
Right?
because they don't believe in anything other than the synapse. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's so traumatic to try to talk to anybody about anything who like isn't our team or something like that. I mean, at work they all call me the ghost girl, but whatever, it's all in fun. But if you really sit down and try to talk to some people about it, they're just like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So on that process, if you think about that, we look at Pennhurst, look at some of the asylums, look at that stuff, because those people that were committed, I wonder how many of those people had precog. I wonder how many of those, and it was just, and it's horrible, because if you look at it that way, these poor folks, they had no idea what was going on, and then you put them into this whatever and never see them again. But I just wonder, going back on some of that stuff, and then that's why those spaces would be so crazy with feeling and that, because they don't know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, I just don't, and when you talk about psyche evals, we, as you guys know, I worked in jail for 15 years. And I saw, you see things that you don't, and I'm not, by no means am I looking at, whatever, because I don't want to see stuff. I want to go home, and I damn sure don't want to take anything with me. But you see people's faces change. We would have people come in and they would be talking in two different voices, and so we'd send them in for a psych eval. And what would they do? What do they do to them, Jess? Because you know exactly what they do. They medicate them.
Absolutely.
Right? They're doing the Thorazine shuffle, and Doc will tell you the same thing. Doc will tell you the same thing, because it's easier, and I hate to say it, it's easier to medicate those folks.
Yep.
Right.
But because we just, at that time, we didn't have the processes to deal with them. And it's unfortunate. Now take that back 60, 80, 100 years ago. We were nice. We were giving them Thorazine.
They were giving them
lobotomy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not only that, they were handcuffed to a bed.
Right.
They were, so
a straight jacket.
Yeah, exactly. Because we didn't know, medical did not know. And as much as they tried to fix folks, it's unfortunate they couldn't.
Yeah.
So I think that we've come a long way. I think that there are some doctors out there, not that I know. I embrace the crazy, and it's just the way it is. But I think that there's some folks that are out there that do kind of understand. They lean the other way. But they're few and far between, I think.
Yeah.
You pretty much learn to keep your mouth shut in a lot of instances. Like when you're in the doctor's office and you want to say, oh, the recital is going to go really well tomorrow night. For the little kid you've never met and you're not, you know what I mean?
There's no way on God's green earth that you would know that.
Right. So you don't say stuff. You just don't say stuff. When it comes into your head, you learn to keep your mouth shut, because it's not, still in this day and age, still not accepted that a lot of people have these gifts.
Correct.
I will tell you that I have only told one doctor in my entire life, and he's still my doctor. And
very open-minded of him.
He is very open-minded. He was actually very intrigued. He was like, well, that explains a lot.
Yeah, it
What he
does.
wants to do is dissect your brain.
Yeah.
Good luck finding it.
The two cells up there, ding-a-ling.
Yeah, the two bring, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sound like
it's
a coin in a
unfortunate.
tin can.
And I wonder how many doctors have gifts. I mean, I think a lot of them do, because I think a lot of them, it's not just this, oh, intuitively they know what's wrong with their patient. They know what's wrong with their patient. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And before the tests come back, they know exactly. And it's not just the medical science that they've learned. It's because they're processing information they're getting, but they're not telling anybody.
Yep.
Hmm.
Well, and at that point, then that is, that is somebody that we need in that position.
Oh yeah. Oh,
That
absolutely.
person needs to understand,
Yeah.
and that person does. I can tell you a lot of times, you have somebody that's having an episode and they come strapped to the ER and they're saying things that there's no way on God's green earth that they would even know. And we think they're crazy.
Yeah. Or they're on drugs.
We think they're crazy. That's where a lot of self-medication comes in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Trying
They
to
need
stop
to
those
quiet
voices.
those voices. That's why some people sleep with the TV on. They want to keep those voices at bay.
Yeah.
And I think that the brain is, the brain's like the heart. It works 24 hours a day.
Mhm.
And I think that, there's so much stuff. What do they say? We only use a portion of our brain. Me, my portion is
10%.
like,
Mm, I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
I've read lately, though, in some medical journals that it's a lot bigger than what they think. They used to say we only use 10% of our brain, but neuroscientists believe that that's not exactly true.
Hmm.
That we're really
Yeah.
functioning at a pretty high level. If you're not doing something to deaden it, right? Like different drugs and stuff to quiet everything down. But
Right.
I think we're capable of so much more. So
Right.
much more.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did talk about, on the Wednesday shows, we've been talking about the GATE program and how they were doing testing at schools and everything else, and to see who had the gifts and who didn't, because they wanted to use that to our country's advantage, because Russia was doing the same thing, and so was China. And
Yeah.
it's pretty fascinating that if my memory serves, Russia started it. Like Russia was on top of it first, and they really wanted to be able to use people with those ESP powers to try to get a jump on other superpowers to try to control them. But it just didn't work out like that. I think a lot of people, when they realize they're being used and they're being used as a weapon, they start shutting it off.
Yeah.
But think about it. In Russia, you shut it off, you're probably dead, and so is your family. But
Yeah, I was going to say that's
Yeah.
much like China.
Yeah.
When I look at the athletes of any of their Olympic teams, they're 10, 12, 14 years old, but they've been identified, right? That's what they're going to do.
Yep.
That's what they were good at. They've been identified. So they're pushed that way.
Yeah.
So I feel sorry for them.
Yeah, they don't have a choice.
No,
They
they
don't have
don't.
the freedom to say, no, I don't want to be a swimmer.
No,
Yeah, I want to
exactly.
be a
A
violin.
person that I worked with, he was a swimmer for Saddam Hussein. He was identified as a top athlete for Saddam Hussein, and you better win. You better
yeah.
win.
Yeah.
So it was, but you're not given the choice. So when people going, we have not lost that much freedom here. You know what I'm saying? Because we still have the choice to say, no, I don't want to be a swimmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of torn between, I'm glad that we have that. We don't want to, I think that, we've all seen that the kid that is playing travel baseball or the kid that's playing travel volleyball or whatever. And these recruiters are recruiting these kids at like 14, 16 years old.
Mhm.
And we do have that choice to say, nah, I don't want to do that. But I mean, is that so taking that huge step backwards? Is that supposed to be our what we're supposed to do? Does that make sense? Was that kid that you worked with, the swimmer? Um, was he destined to be a swimmer, or was he just
He
somebody
didn't
that?
want to be.
Yeah,
That was the
I get
thing.
it.
It's like he didn't want to be but he knew that his family probably not survive had he said no. He was
Yeah.
recognized as a talent, and
Right.
you will do this. And a lot of us go through that with our families, right? You will be in the family business. You will do this and you will do that because our families pressure us into it. And a lot of people live that life and they don't necessarily want to do it. But also their whole family's not going to be taken out if they don't.
Right.
It's just pressure and
Yeah.
yeah.
But that was a
Guilt.
very strong rumor. That was a very strong rumor back in the day when because I can tell you that some of the Chinese wrestlers they were separated from their families, and that was what was held over their head. Look at the 70s and the 80s. The whole I think now it might be a little bit laxed, or it might not make it to the surface. But
Well, didn't we have a Chinese gymnast defect in the last Olympics or something?
we had a
remember.
baseball coach from the Little League World Series that walked away from his team.
A couple years
And
ago. Yeah.
yeah, and he
I think I
disappeared
remember that. Yeah.
altogether. That guy disappeared.
Yeah. But I think it
So
was in the last couple of Olympics, whatever. I think I remember a Chinese gymnast
Sounds
asked for
familiar.
asylum. Huh?
I think so.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. I think she asked for asylum. She got away from her coaches and asked for asylum and asked for protection. So, I mean, they're still doing it. They're still separating athletes
sure.
from their families. And I wonder what happened to her family. Oh, I can't even imagine.
Gosh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they hold that. They hold that over their, it's power and control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's that thought process that they've had for hundreds and hundreds of, look at Korea. Korea men can only have one of 6 haircuts. Women can only wear their hair a certain way.
North Korea? Yeah.
In North Korea.
Yeah.
You can, you have to dress a certain way. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. It's really a shame what those people live under. It really is. Getting back to Déjà Vu, I think it would be really interesting, guys, if we,
I imagine they are.
Yeah, I imagine they are at the work factories.
Mm.
It would be really interesting if for like the next year we all 4 of us here record any instances of déjà vu that we have and then compare notes, because it happens to me on a pretty frequent basis. It sounds like it happens to Jesse a lot and Max a lot. And Mudlover, you've had a number of experiences. So it'd be really cool to like compare notes next year and see where we are with it.
I'll write them down.
How do we remember that we've had,
I like pudding. I like pudding.
Mudlover is going to start realizing a lot of things that she doesn't pay attention to now.
She knows. She knows.
She's like, no, I'm just the quiet
Sorry.
one. No, I'm just the quiet one. No. There's a whole lot of stuff going on there. Yeah.
Let me explain the quiet one to you. Just because she's quiet doesn't mean she doesn't know how to destroy people.
So you've said.
Just saying. She's just sitting back, taking all this information in. That's his weakness. I could put a pillow over his face.
She's got her Uzi behind her. She just cleaned it. Yeah.
She knows what's
She'd be
up.
like, shh, baby, shh, just take it.
It's okay.
Yeah, right.
Think of flowers. Think of the flowers. Think of the ice cream.
Yeah, I would just actually I could see her going tiptoe through the
Mad Max is snoring away. There goes the pillow. Down. Don't fight it, baby. Don't fight it.
I'll never listen to that song same again.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Nope.
Oh my
Wow,
gosh.
just staying on live TV. Oh, sorry guys.
Right.
Now, different than deja vu, we've talked about premonitions. We've all had premonitions. I know we've all had them. Do you have a lot, Mud Lover, Max?
Not that I know of.
No?
She will now.
Yeah, it's
I
all
think
going
if you
to
pay
come.
attention.
Well, you know what's funny is, so you talk about precog. You know, that's something as easy as going to work and making a right instead of a left. You have that. So does that go back to gut feeling?
Yeah.
It's
So it's
something guiding
precog.
you. It's something guiding.
Guiding. There you go.
I
Exactly.
think it's
You know.
something saying, hey, that little tap on your shoulder, pay attention to me. I'm
Mhm.
telling you, turn right, not left.
Exactly.
Something is interfering with our normal day-to-day process.
Sure.
Yeah.
And again, so now talking about a lot of this stuff, I'm not as in tune as you guys are. And I mean, there's little things that maybe I don't key in on, but I'm going to start kind of looking at this stuff a little differently. And, maybe it's the disconnect that I've had because I'm very much A, B, C, D. That's just
You
the way
say
it
that,
is.
but you also on an investigation, both of you tap in really easily. So yeah, dream journal is great. My problem is I don't have enough time to journal it. By the time I think about journaling it, it's gone. I get up and I have to get moving real quick. So yeah.
Well, see, I don't remember. I will have some gnarly dream, whatever that dream is, and it's just like miles of marshmallows and chocolate, whatever it is.
Pudding.
And I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to remember that. By the time I get out of the bed and put my feet on the ground, that thing is just down the road. I have no idea what in the heck I'm doing. Yeah, I've heard of people.
Okay, here's a weird question for you guys. Have you woken up from a dream and it continued with you the whole day? The story kept developing.
Oh, I've had that very few times, but that's weird.
It happens to me a lot. Like I get up and it's like this really intense dream, and all day long it's with me, and it develops like a storyline. So is that another part of our brain just spinning that into a storyline? I mean, what is that out about? It's an exercise. Oh yeah. Yeah, I get it, Lauderdale. For sure. It? Yeah.
I know Lauderdale. I know that some people use micro voice recorders as well. And that's the first thing that they'll do.
That would be easier. Yeah.
I mean, that way you can take it with you or whatever.
Yeah, on our phone, we all have those recording apps. We should.
Yeah,
do that.
I mean, it's on your phone. See, I'm afraid. I'm afraid to turn that recording app on in the middle of the night. I don't want to hear anything. I really don't.
Are you gonna do like little Nicky? When he's sleeping.
What happened to you?
There's that one app you can download now, and it tells you like how many times you fart in a night. And I'm like, I don't want to know that. I don't want to know this information. That's too much, man.
I just see Colleen looking at that, going, "Wow, I ate Taco Bell."
God, that was cabbage night that night.
That was cabbage night.
Like, no
more sauerkraut for
I don't need
me.
an app listening in like that.
Right.
Talking about listening in. So
you talk. Go ahead.
Well, who was I talking to? I think I was on the phone with Trista the other day, and we were talking about something on the phone, and I popped up my laptop, and that exact thing was there, and I'm like, there's way too much listening for me, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think that's that's they're always listening. Even if you do that, they're still always listening.
Yeah,
I know. I hate that.
Oh,
But yeah, I think that stuff
interesting.
is interesting. I think that, you know, that there's a lot of things that now as we're going forward and talking about, you know, again, like I said, I'm just a little fat kid. You know, growing up, we were very, very strict by the book. That's what we did.
Mhm.
Lauderdale, that's
Watch yourself.
fascinating.
Dude, that's
Watch yourself.
nuts.
So you're astral projection then? You're stepping
Yeah.
away from your body and watching yourself? I don't think
Yeah.
I'd want to do that either. That's like listening to myself fart on an app. I don't want to do it.
I
I'm
think
just
it's
that's too
amazing.
much. I don't think I
Wow.
no.
The flying
But that
dreams are my favorite.
the
I
what?
fly all the time. My
I
flying
know
dreams.
the flying
love
dreams I love. I love
I
that.
love it. Except for not waking up before you hit the bottom.
It's your goal, but I'm gonna get into the dream. Wow, you got to let us know how this goes because
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. You got to
Fascinating.
stay with
Wow.
us.
we got to
You can
have
come
you
in
on the
anytime.
show talking about this stuff
Yeah.
because this is
Yeah.
fascinating. Honestly,
Hey.
go to our Facebook page or there on
Yeah.
YouTube. Hit us up, man. Send us a comment because
Hey,
this is
Lauderdale, and let me ask, are you male or female? Because the people that I've heard that do a lot of out of body experiences are females.
email.
Mhm.
A lot of females are doing that. And I'm not trying to, you know, whatever, put you on blast.
Oh,
Wow.
interesting. Oh, this is so cool.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's a
this is
Wow.
trip,
cool.
dude.
I want to
That
know.
is
I
a
want to
trip.
know the minute you do this because
That would be awesome.
walking.
Mhm.
Oh, can you imagine walking into your own dream? I'm
Huh.
aware that I'm dreaming a lot when I'm
Mhm.
dreaming. I'm aware cognitively that I am. This is a dream. Don't be worried that this stuff is happening and I'm going to get away just fine. Don't worry about it. I'm dreaming. But it's different, like walking into your own dream.
Yeah.
No. See, I've
You-
never, again, when I wake up, um, that's my dream is over. I can't, you know, and like Lauderdale says, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to, you know, write my stuff down. And I always think I'm going to.
I roll out of my bed and can feel the edge of the bed as I roll, and I feel the ground and stand up. So in your
Dude.
dream state, wow, that is so fascinating. I wonder, did it take? I've never.
Have you done this all your life, Lauderdale? Is this
Yeah.
something that you've done since you were a kidling, or is this something that you've worked on in you know, as because dude, now you got all kinds of questions I want to ask.
Yeah,
You need to DM Colleen
yeah. We
and
want you on a show. We want to have
let's
these
put you on a
discussions
show,
with
dude.
you because this is
I mean, if
fascinating.
you want to.
Totally serious.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah.
you worked on it.
Good.
Would you please
Mhm.
send us a message so that we can? I
Hit
really,
you.
really, really want to have you on the show. This is fascinating, and I want to talk to you about this.
Yeah.
And I think that's an incredible topic. So,
It's
anyway,
funny,
our
like I
time.
said, it's funny that you're a male because most of females have done this. I've only had one dream where I was flying and I didn't ever look back at myself, but because I'm not really something I want to see. But
Okay.
there's
Awesome.
when you get to that point, that's something that is just crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely,
It's
dude.
really a fascinating topic, and thank you for sharing that information.
you.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're out of time tonight, guys. So we'll be back. Make sure that you're going to our show on Wednesday nights. That's our psychic medium show. You can have questions. You could ask questions of our mediums, and they'll give you an answer.
Lauderdale, that might be something you want to check out as our Wednesday show.
Yeah. And then we'll be back next week with another topic. We're also on Rumble. We're putting all of our paranormal and true crime on one page in Rumble. So hit us up there too. We appreciate everybody tuning in tonight, and thanks so much. Be safe out there.
Good night,
Deuces.
Hey
everybody.
guys.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.